me it's bad weed?
I'm just saying, like, the flavor and shit tastes weird.
Yeah, it's because they're all fucking flavor. Some peach rings. You make? I'm good too.
You good, Ayon? You good?
All right, we're live. Well, not really live because, Cisco doesn't have his headphones on yet. So whenever he's ready,
I can hear you.
we'll be live. It's better when you have headphones and you can hear all the air too. So, emergency, David Yu, if you're out there, Cisco Funk Vision 32 cannot purchase anything on the market right now. He seems to be restricted. Maybe he's been shadow banned or flagged or dropped or something. We need you to come check on this ASAP because, without us, what app do you got?
All you got is my collectibles.
Shouts out to my collectibles, by the way. I think now I'm starting to think he's an agent. Like he's like a placed person that they got. Like he's a part of Veve team.
He's
and
been
just
recruited.
they pay him. Yeah, they pay him to just just do it. You don't think so?
He's not.
Anyway,
He's not.
anyway. Welcome back, everyone. Yay! It is the Veve Bros podcast number 29.
29.
29, right?
Been away for what? 2 weeks?
1 week. We just missed 1 week.
Oh, I missed 2 weeks.
Yeah,
You missed 2 weeks. We were in here. We were doing the live streams as per usual. However, we're in a heat wave right now. So, to get a little relief on the power grid, we decided not to go live and to just do a good old-fashioned podcast.
So excuse the background fan.
We also are running
blowing.
the fan.
It's too hot in here. We do not have AC in the studio.
No, we do not. And
Yeah,
it's
and it's
been
still hot.
8 straight days of like 95, 98 plus. We had 100 plus
over 100 degrees
over this weekend, and everyone's melting. But we're supposed to get some relief this weekend, so we will see.
No, it'll still be hot, but there's supposed to be rain.
But how's everyone doing, man? I mean, I hope everyone's cool. Of course, we know Corey's tuned in. We know Ronnie's tuned in. We get our random people who jump in besides that. But obviously, we're paying attention. I'll admit, I've probably taken like a little week, 2 weeks. I had a lot of stuff going on with Lighter Fluid, a hip-hop event I was throwing in LA this past weekend. And so, that kind of took precedence, so I wasn't able to run the podcast last week. And then on top of that, I just haven't had time to really be on the app as much as I've wanted to. But I've still been watching all my videos, been keeping up. Obviously, we're in Discord, we're in Twitter. So what's caught your eye? I mean, this week, it's pretty obvious, right? Let's just jump right into it, obviously.
I mean, the truth, 2 weeks ago I had work, right? So I couldn't come. Then last week, you said you had priorities and other things going on, so we didn't do it. And everyone felt the last 3 weeks we met up, it was like, not a lot to talk about, but let's talk about this. And we talked about AF-15 for like 3 weeks straight.
Right.
And then Vivi's like, oh, there's not a lot to talk about. And there was Decon London, obviously, right? But then, boom, they decided, y'all must have forgot. It's like, this is the week. And now they asked me, what time are you going to get home? Like, I don't know. Honestly, shit went down. I'm pretty sure Mickey's going to talk for a while, and we're going to have a lot we're going to get into, like, just how it goes.
Well, I mean, that's why I kind of have to back up a little, like, really look and explore the last 2 weeks just to get it all down, because there has been a lot going on. But then today, no matter what, Veve rocks our world. So even whatever you were covering the last week or two, Veve could just drop a bomb like this, and we get a Golden Moments announcement. And not only a Golden Moments announcement, but the finale announcement. And there was already speculation because of Decon UK. David Yu, they had asked them about the Marvel Red series. That's the question they plugged. And then David Yu proceeds to say, hey, when a brand wants to do this or that, we try to keep it going, and we don't know when things will get finished. For instance, we have something coming up that's finishing, and I can't say what it is, but blah blah blah. Then that opened a speculation. It could be this, it could be that, and ultimately it landed on golden moments.
Yeah.
They're done. They're finished. We won't get any more. And that is a big deal. Let's mark that down in time right now on the history books, you know,
huge
as we're writing
deal.
it.
It's a huge deal.
We at least know these are a finite supply. And
I don't know. What are they bringing back? You know, there's nothing to stop them from bringing it back.
I mean, Disney's notorious for locking things in a vault and not opening them for forever, bro.
They do
and we've been spoiled with Veve getting all of these FAs and getting stuff that people become numb. And I dare say people might sleep on these golden moments, dude. We'll see, mate. What if we all three of us hit? You know, what do you think? How you feeling? How's your confidence with the 10,000 editions?
I do not feel good about it because the last 2 10,000 edition drops, I struck out. I was not good. But maybe I will actually take a break. Maybe I will go to a Starbucks and use a Wi-Fi.
Yeah, maybe you should.
Or do something like that. Because I've actually had pretty good luck otherwise up until these past two. They were both the comics, the Spider-Man comics. AF-15 and then the ASM 300. Which Corey just asked right now. He said he'll watch the episode tomorrow since we're not going live. And he asked.
Right.
He's curious to see how we did on the Venom drop, the ASM 300.
Right. Wow. So I mean,
I did. I struck out fast, ASAP. It was the same shit, but the same thing like AF-15 that I noticed. Even though I restarted my phone, even though I was exiting the app and going back in, my timer was off from the world clock by a second. So I didn't know whether to time it by a second earlier or a second after, but either way on that Venom was the same thing that happened to me with AF-15. My clock was off though.
I missed it all. Like I looked at my phone at 8:05. Like yeah, you idiot. Like cause I was at work and I just missed it. Had my alarm at 7:57 and just missed it.
Right.
Things come up, you know, just.
I mean, it was kind of like a random big drop. It is a big drop. It is a huge comic. I think there was a little bit of AF-15 hangover and effect of like, could it be like that? Like for me, I got a comment in the aftermarket for $70 just because it was running up and I couldn't get one for 60, 65, 55. I was trying to buy since 25, 30. Couldn't secure anything. You know, I think the disadvantage of the phone, if you know, people on the web platform seem to be able to snipe them quicker because they don't have that second.
Well, now what? It's sitting at what? 48, 50 around there.
Yeah, it dropped after this announcement of the golden moments. So that's why this could be a great opportunity if you're thinking about getting AF-15. This would be a nice time to strike, or it's at least setting up to, because then we do have the announcement of the Star Wars, vehicle, which will be coming soon as well. So the first Star Wars vehicle is about to hit Veve, which is a big deal, and now it's kind of being overshadowed a bit with the golden moments, but we're getting those two big drops to look forward to, and with that will come new all-time lows for certain items that people stop paying attention to. So don't forget, as you're out there getting your golden moments on, and it's great, it feels good if you already got some. Maybe there's some that feel like they might be running off. Don't trip. They'll probably come back to earth. We've seen this before. Definitely look at the other things that are going even lower now due to this, little gem squeeze we're going to see with this golden moment. And I think Veve's very smart too. They always announce it 2 days before, but this one kind of came out of nowhere in a sense, except with the David Yu hint. And they kind of know too. I don't know if they want to really create a crazy gem squeeze with like hinting towards stuff too much anymore. Just kind of give it to people because the market's already really thin, which also I want to set up for you, Ben, is like $40. Do you think Veve's sending a message with it being, 40 gems?
4 gems,
what do you
and
think
on
about
top
that?
of that though, because it's going to be an airdrop and they're going to, depending on what time they do that at, people are going to hold. Don't expect to see lower prices, but you probably could buy this lamp after that airdrop goes and after they get the opportunity to buy the Fantasia Mickey. People are going to hold it until then, use the utility, and then get rid of it. So if you did want the lamp after the first price, the original prices you see, I expect them to be really, really high.
Well, the announcement,
and have a really big crash afterwards. After those two things happen. After you use the utility,
we're not seeing
I think it's going to...
We saw a pump today, but we didn't see like
I'm talking about the lamp.
Crazy?
I'm talking about the lamp. That 40
okay.
gem lamp, I expected to skyrocket initially. Then after the utility gets used,
no, this
drops
I
down,
feel like this is the way for Veve to say like, all right, it's gonna sell out right now no matter what the FUD is, because on the announcement it says to the original holder. So it doesn't say you have to be holding it. It says that you have to be the original holder. So you have to have won the drop. That's how you're gonna get the 2 wishes that they're granting. But the crazy part about all this with the golden moments is because this is the first like brand or whatever, like the sub genre that they have that had its full ride where people were like, oh, you'll never get a golden moment, to where I got Donald and Daisy and didn't want to sell it for 1K
right
on the drop because I was like, no, I can. You're like, yeah, you should flip it, and now it's at 200 or whatever. But also, wait, check it. Like, it went from everyone wanting them to then you saying, oh, people are exhausted and no one wants them, and look, it's not even worth anything. And now that they're going away, it's like, wait, I never got one, I gotta get one now. So like the full roller coaster has taken effect with the golden moments.
And it's funny that Veve can create that by announcing something like that. Then people have to consider that now as they make decisions down the line, such as like Ben has said too, he's more into being an original holder, you know what I mean, and that mattering, and that could matter 10, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. If you say, hey, I got this, let's just say an NFT or a digital collectible, an OG one, and it might be something that someone asks, oh, are you the original holder? No, I bought it off the original holder. Or I bought it 2 sales. You know, it might be a little knock on it, like 5 sales, 5th generation, or however we're going to say it when we do it, right? Like, no, 5th sale. Oh, you got on the 5th sale? That's not bad. Like, there's other ones that have been 15, 16. I'm just happy to have it, but it's a nice little note. It's like a classic car. It's like, who drove this shit? Oh, it had 2 previous owners. 3 previous owners. Like, no, I bought it from the original owner. He knows how it runs. He knows this and that. Or he cared about it for 20 years and then sold it to me. And so that says something. Now it's a part of the story. And Veve just did that, at least planted the seeds with this announcement with golden moments. And we have a tweet right here from Alex G. I'm going to read it. It says, GM finale. Yes, it's the finale. Check. Original holders get both wishes. Check. And yes, this is the D.
Which is a big one too that they're giving away for free.
It's a big
because
D.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's a big one, shiny one, golden.
So stop
and it's
worrying about
it's basically Walt
Z.
Disney's D because it's in it's his handwriting.
No, because he had said right.
The logo.
There's a D. They had hinted towards it, and now you know it's a Disney D.
The thing that I saw too, I don't know if it was this week or last week, but Veve Magic came out and said like she posted something of like it might have been a picture or a video, and she was saying like people don't understand when it comes to Disney fans. I'm not even like one of the biggest like that, and her whole like the whole audience that she has is based off of she's the Disney expert, you know. And when she said that, it was just like the eye opener. Like all these people are following her. If she's gonna pump anything, like that's what you need to understand right there. That part that although she's into it and she's really really into it, when they all migrate to the app and they're there, the scarcity won't matter when it's 10,000 or whatever because everything's gonna be scarce.
Well, look. There's 170,438 golden moments. Now, some might say that's too much. It's not 10,000 like a Bored Ape Yacht Club. It's not like just the one set. Some will say, oh, it's a duplicate. It's this and that. But when I look at that number, 170,000, right, roughly, knowing Disney, knowing its reach, popularity, and its household name, like 170,000 is not enough. It's simply not enough supply for people who would want a freaking Disney.
One of the biggest companies in the whole world.
Right, like for a sticker. If you were giving away free stickers for Disney, right? Like 170,000 wouldn't be enough if you did a nationwide, worldwide who wants it, right? So when I look at that, I'm like, now it feels like a lot, but that supply could flip real quick, real quick, and not be enough. Where like when we first got on the app, and if you had one golden moment, for me, when I would see people's profile, and I'd scroll, and they'd even have 1 or 2 golden moments, I was like, damn, they on. And because you couldn't even find one for under a G, right? Like Wally was $800, $900. That was your best chance. And even then, so many people bought that bottom every time they hit a G. So many people are holding $1,000 golden moments right now.
Yeah.
Straight up, like the majority are, you know? So we have a long time to go before people aren't tempted to sell profit. But at the same time, people believed in that much, you know? So something interesting to look at.
Well, on average per day, about 51,000 people go to Disneyland per day. So even in a year, that's 186 million visitors to Disneyland in 1 year. That's just Disneyland, not Paris, not Tokyo, not California Adventure. So in those terms of it, like even the people who have to save up for months to fly out to California or wherever they're going to visit the park, but they're diehards and they love it and it's their dream. When they have access to it like that, like everything changes. Like I said, the finale, that's the big deal right here. Because you can try and think about what's going to be the next finale or when it's going to be done or whatever. But this is one of the biggest, had the highest run, even the fact that Walt pumped really big again, back to 5K. I don't know how low it got, but yeah, man, this is big news. This is big news in the wave of like people kind of being stagnant, people not really having it. And that's why I think it's dope too that they put it at 40 gems, because it makes it more affordable for anybody else who wants to go for it. I don't think anyone's gonna get two.
Well, I think that's a message too to like the fan base, right? Like, we're gonna do it for 40, and you're gonna get, if you hit with that $40, you're gonna get 2 wishes, and you're gonna get the D right off the bat. Boom, airdrop free, and now you're the only one who got that on top of the hit the drop. Then you'll have access to buy this other thing, and you'll be one of the only people who have these, right? The limited supply. So it's like, man,
no,
like,
and not only that, we talked about that, the Fantasia, like the Sorcerer's Apprentice, him doing that. Like we talked about this before about that would be a big ass drop on its own, and now you won't even have access until that, or unless you're guaranteed access 10,000, and then they're gonna have 20,000 editions, you know. So
I don't know. I
those
think
10,000, like we'll see how that plays out.
I think
it says it's gonna go on. It's gonna go on sale on the 22nd.
Original. If you hit, you get the D, right? Then after that, you have to be holding, because the Mickey doesn't drop till a week later. So I think you would have to hold.
And this is all before MCP. Like,
so you would have to hold
drop,
that one,
you know,
in order to have a chance at Sorcerer, right?
Yeah, if you
well,
it doesn't say you're told you have to be the original holder, and then you'll have access to the sale. So you don't have to buy it, but it's gonna cost you more to get it. You're not getting it for free.
Right. And that one, they could price it at 120. It could be, who knows? You know what I mean?
And that one's just such a big piece, though. Like I said, when we were anticipating what type of big drops Disney could have, that was one of them at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Like it's one.
I mean,
it's
when
one
you
of them.
go through Steamboat,
and
then
we
you
don't
go
know,
through Band Leader,
and we don't know
that's why, like,
it's gonna have music. So we don't know what that music's gonna be. That score for that movie is award-winning, amazing. Like, you know, like what's gonna be on it.
Right.
And that you said, Vivi's getting into music, right?
We fucked up not seeing this coming though. Like something this big, not the finale, but just based off what they did last year for the Disney Plus Day, even though we weren't on the app.
I mean, no, we talked about that golden moments would be a possibility, right? Like, a lot of people did in the community, and we even talked about it. We could end up getting a golden moment, but did we think they would call that this would be the last one ever? You know what I mean? Like,
well, they're sticking to the plan. It's a 1 year cycle. That's all it was.
Right.
1 year cycle.
People can't even hold for 1 year, which is crazy. And now you see this small utility, and it could be, hey, if you got the Simpsons set, you know, because I got it, I'm hoping that they're like, yo, the next Simpsons drop, you're gonna get airdropped, you know, Lisa Simpson.
We're inviting everybody who has the Simpsons set to the premiere of Simpsons season 36 at freaking El Capitan Theater. You know, like the utilities are gonna start coming in because they're slowly making that happen. Even with the artists, the dude
Plus
who did
they
the
know
kite.
that people want that, dude. And Veve is becoming. We're talking about fan service. You know, and you saw it with MTL, you saw it with KYC. That wasn't on their initial plans to give people, you know, an ability to cash out right away. Because to them, not even a year in the app is right away. You know, that's like, yeah, you can't wait 2-3 years. And if you would have told someone at the start, yo, Disney's going to do their first digital collectibles, but the catch is you got to buy them and you can't cash out for 3 years. People will be like, oh, sign me up. I'm down, because we know Disney's good for
Disney's going out of business or what?
Like, yeah. So now that they're doing that, like, it's crazy. It's big. It's a big deal. And man, good luck to everyone out there who's going for it. Of course, we got to go for it. And I hit Venom. I hit the FA or whatever, the ASM 300. Clicked right in. I'm hoping I could channel that energy again and get this one. It's a huge, huge deal. Obviously, we had Decon UK. Did you guys go for any this past weekend?
I went for the final one, which was like the life one or whatever, like the head. And I got it. I didn't know if it was a tough one to get or people weren't going for it. It was 120, but I didn't purchase it. Send you guys a screenshot like, what's up? Look, should I get it? But then right after they were going for like 90 or whatever. So I didn't go for it because of that. It was 120, but I missed the earlier ones because I just wasn't paying attention to it like that. But the thing on that one, that the Kai Cow, the hype bow one, the dude tweeted, the artist tweeted it after, like, I'm gonna hook up everyone with a unique physical for their own, depending which one they have, which of the 3 variants that they have. Right. And literally for the cheaper ones, first he said he worded it as like the whoever has the Kai edition, and then after he's like, no, let me clarify, it doesn't matter what edition you have, you don't need the complete set. I'm gonna get a physical to get to you somehow. I'm gonna work this out so you guys all get one. And literally the other ones were like going for 25 gems, and they jumped up to like 120, 130, even higher. That like those were going crazy. Away. No, and I was gonna get one of those because they look cool either way, and I was like, oh, maybe like it's cheap, I'll just get one. Right. And then literally right after I see the tweet, I go back, I was like, oh shit, it's up to so like imagine 170.
When Veve opens the floodgates, bro. With
well, they're letting the artist decide
with utility that. Though, like.
But the artist is doing that on his own. Like he said, like, I want to give props to that. It sold out in 10 seconds or whatever it was. 25 gems only. And
25 gems, but if you did say 10,000 editions, I'm not sure how many that one had, but let's just say even 5,000 editions, right? Then that artist is able to make, I don't know, what's that, almost 100 G's, like 100 grand, no? How much is that?
It'd have to be 5 G's.
25 grand or something. Let's just say 10,000 editions at 25 bucks.
It was only 1750 editions total.
So very small
all three variants.
Still though, I mean, you get the point. Like, they do this drop, you're able to sell that much at 25 bucks. You couldn't do that if you're standing in downtown, or you threw an art gallery, or you post it on your website. Like, Veve's the platform. Hell yeah, I would love to sell out 1,700 units in 10 seconds.
Well, the other dude too, the extra large, he had the rare and ultra rare, and both of them were animated. The running monkey. And how it was like both of them were animated for 50 gems, and they look pretty dope. So if you're a fan of the artist, they really gave them the opportunity to like give back to their fans and have that dope. They didn't have to have the 5 freaking what's the one that you made me buy when we were at the racetrack? Freaking what's his name? Toby, baby, Toby. And I'm still waiting for that Toby utility to kick in. Something big coming for Toby.
Hey, that fool went under 100 for a secret rare. It was cheap. I don't know what he's at now.
Nah, but the time change screwed me up on the decon drops because they were really early in the morning, and I wasn't paying attention to it like that, as far as like, oh, I really want to go for that one. The Mexican artist, the Valfi or whatever, that was the one that I was considering going for, but then it dropped like I think 5 a.m. or like 6 a.m. So I missed the drop either way. And the Lincoln one, but like I said, I caught that one like friggin' hour and a half after it already had dropped, and the secret rares were going for a pretty penny. I was like, but we saw that happen the first time last year. Right. So like it was like, yeah, that one you could almost predict that it was going to happen that way.
So we did have, I mean, obviously we have 2 weeks to cover. It's been a minute. We did have the AMA, or at least the sit down with Alfred Kahn, David Yu, Dan Crothers, Reese, which is really interesting in itself. They dropped some gems on there. It was really dope, kind of reinforcing a lot of the stuff. Got to see Alfred Kahn. Which, obviously, every time you see Alfred Kahn, you're going to get the Pokemon stuff. And then what happened? I was at a show a week ago, not this Sunday, but the Sunday before, a week and a half ago. And I'm talking to the bartender, and he tells me he's like a production assistant, and that this is his part-time job as a bartender. He's like, oh, I do production full-time. Oh, that's cool, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, I'm working on this show with the #1 brand in the world. You know what it is? I'm like, Pokemon? He goes, oh, yeah. He's all, I even told my wife, like, you know what the #1 fucking selling brand and toys is and all this? Like, not toys specifically, but he said toys, but I get what he meant. And she's like, no, what is it? Barbie, this, that? Like, well, no, that's up there, but it's Pokemon. And I'm like, yeah, I know that. I'm like, I told him, like, I'm on this app, and they do digital collectibles, and the whole thing is that they're going to get Pokemon one day. And he's all, well, we're doing a live show where involved with Pokemon and blah blah blah. I go, that's funny that Pokemon's in McDonald's right now. Then you got this dude, he's talking about filming this, and the show's in Santa Monica.
Like, yeah, I signed a non-disclosure agreement. Please don't tell nobody about this. He's like, I'll just tell all 5 people who listen to my podcast.
Yeah, like that's all the info. I don't want to burn them out. It's actually not a Santa Monica. It was near this beach, and all this shit. So it's like, I believe the guy. I was like, he doesn't seem like he's bullshitting. And he didn't know. I'm just listening. I'm like, oh, wow. Then I hear about Alfred Kahn. Then I see the McDonald's with the Pokemon stuff. And then I'm like, man, You know, Veve, sometimes it's so obvious, and all you have to do is trust them. But it could be that they're prepping right now for the Pokemon launch, you know, with Alfred Kahn coming in. One of the mix, we had that video, and I sent it to from you, and shouts out to Veve Vault who put it up, and he declared it as, yeah, we got Pokemon for sure, which people talk shit about, but it's like, we've already done that already. People have declared that I've been wrong with it. So they're pretty much doing this, some other conference. I forgot what it was, but it wasn't DCOM, but it was another one. And they're talking about NFTs, the digital space, and they have rooms filled with frames, and then they have the digital image being projected on in the frame, blah, blah, blah. And the guy starts talking about Veve. He goes, I'm a part of, he's like a marketing strategist or business strategist. He goes, I'm a part of Veve. I work with them. That they've acquired licenses like Disney, Star Wars. He goes, Pokemon. And then everyone's like, oh, Pokemon. And he's like, oh, no, I'm sorry. They work with Alfred. Like, he tried to like wipe it up. I forgot what he said after. But he let that one kind of leak. So it's interesting. All our eyes are focused on Golden Moments now. And obviously we're getting in the Star Wars vehicle. But yo.
Well, David, I saw the clip
Pokemon
too.
At any moment.
I saw the clip where they're talking about music on Veve, and David U's like, yeah, one of my favorite songs, you know, Pokemon song. And he says it, and Alex standing behind him just goes like, fuck, like, you know, like, fucking dude, I'm gonna have to answer so many tweets now because of this fucking statement he just said. Like, and he's like, oh yeah, like, it is just one of my favorite songs. Like, so what? Sue me. But yeah, obviously they're gonna ride that hype and what it does to everybody until the reason that, like, the fact that they do that makes me feel like, yeah, of course it's gonna come one day, and they have it set up to be a certain way, but there has to be certain brands that aren't gonna be overshadowed by that. You know, you've seen already what the squeeze can be like when you make an announcement of a certain brand or certain this, and so it's like they have to be kind of strategic the whole time as far as when they drop that and how they drop it, because it can really put a dent in something else and a partner that they have already.
What could be affecting our market too is that people have been anticipating this too, in a sense of like, why even buy? We're in a bear market, but on top of that, we have such big things coming out where even if we're in a bull market, we'd be feeling a squeeze, you know, like there's no way around this because these big items, and everyone says, oh, they're oversaturating, but not really. I mean, man, the things that hit are going to be the things that hit, and we're not even scratching the surface as far as how many people will be on the app and how many people will want this, man. Like, we know it because we were in love with it. The gains and all that enticed us, but really it was all these brands, and we talk about it, all these characters, all these things that we just have such emotional attachment to. Like, bro, like, as soon as everyone else figures this out, and kind of gets over that little stigmatism of like, oh, NFTs and digital and crypto, I don't trust it, yada yada, it has a bad rep. Like, man, as soon as you're over that, it's over. Like, people are just gonna flock to this. So they know it. They probably do have Pokemon. It's still all in due time. You know what I mean?
We benefit from being in that pocket of like, we are the perfect target audience for this app. We grew up on this. It's nostalgic for us, but also we're in the realm of like where we're thinking about our financial future and also what it could be and being involved in it, and also the excitement of it. So it's like we're not thinking totally, like you said, we're the collector with a investor's mind, or like, you know, like the collector's heart with investor's mind. That's how you want to be. But we are in that age group of that pocket of like, yeah, DBZ. We grew up on Pokemon when it was coming through. It wasn't like we were, our big brother or our uncles told us about Pokemon. Like, no, we were the ones who were like watching that shit every Saturday.
But we could recognize,
as kids.
But we could recognize though that there is still an opportunity to make money and make certain moves and make stuff like that.
We're right in that pocket.
And it's because we know, like, what do you mean? We bought the Power Ranger stuff. We bought Ninja Turtle stuff. We bought
I remember
Batman
stealing
stuff.
a pack of Pokemon cards from KB Toys.
Like
I'm gonna risk this shit. I'm about to. My dad ain't gonna buy me. I'm gonna jack this shit. Yeah, like
how valuable it is to people. Like, we are those people, and so that's the part of the investment as well. Like, hey, I could like, you know, anything. You know, like I could be into jerseys. I could be into collecting other stuff. And sure, I enjoy them, but I also buy them because I understand the demand. I'm there in the moment. I go to everything. I support everything. I buy everything. So sometimes I buy 5, 6, 7, 8, and I flip them and I do this. And that's all a part of the same industry. And Veve recognizes that too. And when things were burning super hot, for a glimpse, people thought, oh, I'm going to live off of this. I could be flipping. I could be living. I could treat it like a stock market or like a crypto market and ride the ups and downs and make my gains and all this. And it's like that moment kind of passed, but it did at least lay the groundwork for what people will want. And I think what is kind of possible in VV, you know, we get to a certain point, because onboarding, bro, like new technology, new stuff, new games, new rules, onboarding is one of the hardest parts. And now everyone has Instagram, everyone has Facebook, but at a time, people didn't know how to log in. People didn't know how to do stuff, and people like Facebook and them had to get out there and learn how to put people on. And people are more savvy now, but with crypto, with collectibles, and then with VV as the app and kind of trusting that, people still don't know that. Like,
but if it's around,
it's gonna take VV success to onboard more people, and them fools know that, bro. That's why they're doing what they're doing. Like, they need the Randy Chavez to win. They need the VV Bros to win. They need, like,
we believe. So it comes from the believers, and that's why they hook us up, and that's why they're cool. You know how many people flew out to London Decon and shit, and they were saying, like, some people were talking shit to them. It's like, hey, and I think Comics and Crypto were like, if you got the time and you got the money to take that vacation and shit, like, you know, live your life and enjoy. Don't let no one tell you, like, you're stupid or, like, look at you, you're so privileged that you can go. I wish I could miss work for a week and go to freaking Decon. I was like, man, fuck you, don't rain on my parade, because I was able to, and this shit's fun for me. And like, oh, what an idiot, you just wasted your vacation days and all this money to make this trip. And it's like, nah, like, you're not gonna shit on what I'm doing just because you can't, and or you're not willing to believe in it, or you don't believe in it to this extent. Like, that's just how it goes, dude. People want the quick flip. They want the quick money to be right away, right now. And then when they're wrong 3 years from now, they're gonna fucking feel stupid if they were the ones who were being,
there'll be
like,
opportunity just like now. Like, you can buy a Pokemon card now, today, and flip it. You could open up a pack that hits something that's big, and maybe it ain't Charizard big, but it'll make you some bucks, and people believe in 10 years, 20 years, it could get to that point, right? And that'll happen with VV as well. There'll be a certain point where all this stuff, that's why it's like, if you even just collect within series, you know, season 1, 2, and 3, you're setting yourself up nicely even there. Even if you just went season 1, like, eventually season 1s will be gone.
Well, yeah, dude,
eventually season 2s will, and 3s, and like,
people who
they'll
have
be like, yo, you got
edition,
first 2 seasons? First 3? You're good.
There are people who have first edition Pokemon boxes unopened that, to them, I'm gonna sell this for $80K no matter what might be in here, even though there might be $1 million card in there, and that's their investment, and their shit is like, nah,
because you go over there and not have shit.
Exactly. No, that's why. So to them, it's like, I don't need the wonder of this. I'll let your wonder set this price, and then
and that's one thing about the blockchain that takes that out. You don't know how many charges, like Pokemon might, but even then, shit falls off of a fucking shelf. Things get destroyed. Like, even if they could track each and every one, sometimes there's leakage. Sometimes there's stuff.
No, dude, how about
we don't know how many are truly in circulation.
And how about we got Pokemon? It's the first Pokemon 1 of 1 NFT on VV, and it's the 1 of 1 shit that you gotta do on the auction, and that's the first taste of Pokemon they give out. Like, we don't know how this shit's gonna be rolled in any way possible. They're already trying to do these things
like that. I don't think they do all of them though, because they've given all the big characters, you know, in good amounts, like, so everyone could get them, because they recognize who's popular and on the commons and shit.
Plus, you notice that they're giving away animation a little more freely now.
Did you see the AMA, the full AMA with Alfred Khan? Did you guys watch it?
Yeah.
You guys see that? So, on that, they actually speak about the metaverse, and like, well, the VV verse, and it's what they say, and like, that shit's that's not in the immediate plans at all. It's not even their focus right now. The interoperability is what that's their plans to get to that, but it's not something that they're actively working on right now to just do it. They have a lot of other things in front of that, and they're kind of like, everyone's trying to, I forgot how it went, of who was saying it, but Reese had a lot to say during that AMA too. And David, you emphasized how big Reese is and how people don't really know how important he is to them, and how he knows most of the big shit before anyone. Like, he's active. He's like their workhorse.
Right,
David,
right.
You were saying, like, nah, this dude, we don't get nothing done. We don't get nothing done without him. Like, Reese is full on VV.
Shouts out to Reese. I know he's listening right now because he keeps tabs on everything.
everyone was all like in the comments
like
on
Alex.
that shit, like, yeah, Reese, I'm glad they're giving you your
My
flowers,
collectibles on payroll,
shit like that. And also Alfred Kahn was saying about like his faith in David Yu and why he trusts David Yu, and how young this fool had all these stores, these collectible stores, or I forget what kind of stores they were in his story. But he was expecting to meet someone older, and he meets like a 21-year-old David Yu, who has all this shit going for him over there. And where's it, New Zealand? Where he's from?
Right. Yeah.
And it was a pretty dope. It was a pretty dope AMA. But yeah, them focusing, I think that was a huge part. That was huge to put people's expectations on hold on the Veve verse, and because they brought up that video. You remember that badass video, and it was just like, dude, how it's that Veve thing, and it goes up. If you haven't seen it, it's all over Twitter and shit.
It's like
you can look it up.
Meta Life or something.
He basically
like that.
uses a lot of the biggest NFTs they have on the app, and he created stuff with it, and it's just like these are the possibilities. Like, imagine this, like, this is what we can do, but we're not trying to get to that right now.
Right,
like that's years down. Like the Veve verse, they're like, our Veve verse, if we ever even do one, because they plan on being interoperable, it will be years down the road that we get to that point.
Bro, there's gonna be
what they were
there's
saying.
Well, they said there'll
like,
be a version of it by the end of the year, though.
Dude,
That's something that they said since the start.
Imagine when you have people who are like, hey,
the
man.
AMA, they just completely like shut that down.
No, but either way, imagine.
I didn't pick that up.
Imagine when
I
they
gotta
have
go back, watch it again.
Imagine when they have people like, hey, man, I got all these badass Veve NFTs. Make my showroom dope. Here's 10K.
That's what I mean,
Make
dude.
me a dope showroom.
No, that's what I mean, bro.
Because you're creative, right? You can do it really cool. I've seen you post all this shit up, right? So here, these are the ones I got. Which one do you need? What do you need me to add to it? All right, I'll go buy it real quick.
Right.
Whereas like, and it's like, yeah, dude, give me 5K. I'm gonna hook you up with a showroom that you can show off to everybody.
I mean,
and
when Veve was up like that, bro, like that's how fools were already. Like, I'm gonna be a connoisseur. I'm gonna be an advisor, more or less, to people wanting to collect and wanting to get used to it. And that happened earlier this year. Veve was a lot more easier to explain then. Now there's so much that's gone on to its core. It's still the same, but now you have things like KYC. Now you have things like comic collecting has how it's now worked out with. When I got on the app, it was easy to snipe sub 5%. I figured it out. I thought I cracked the matrix. I was like, bro, no, these things are super, super underpriced when you compare them to ones that are sub 5% right there with them. They're $60, $70 cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
We figured that out. Then Comics and Crypto pointed it out. Then obviously MCP.
They made a nice chart for it and everything. Was just
then MCP rewarded us for it. And we talked about it, and I told you guys, and like, that was me following it, noticing stuff, and so much has changed even since then. But now you can even see in the app, it's almost a given for whoever's on it now. They even right after drops, they price their stuff way better. You have people who don't care anymore, but most fools are like, I'm at least going to drop it for 2x if it's sub 5%. If it's under that, whatever mint number that you need to be,
or you're
gonna
get screenshotted and shared on Twitter, like, look what I just got from this dude who didn't know better.
Some people still throw it up like that, you know. But that's all I mean. Like, there will become the point, especially as we go deeper into the bear market and more time passes without major onboarding. They're gonna come to the point where like someone's gonna come on and need help, and you can go to YouTube, you can go to this, but it's still too much. So they might come to you and be like, hey, bro. Hey, I want to build this collection. I'm into Disney. I'm into this, or, how can I do it?
If the day that Disney grants Veve the rights to create advertising using their IPs, like some shit that will come out on Disney Plus, in between something, a little 5-second ad that showed like Veve
the
digital
days
collectibles
are near,
and shit.
fool.
Like the day that they do that and it keeps pumping along and everyone keeps seeing it and gets used to seeing Veve, and then after they start looking into it, like, hey, I keep hearing this shit. It's like the fifth time I've came across this fucking thing, Veve.
And all it's gonna take,
and then they start looking into it.
Is Veve saying, hey, all you gotta do is redeem this. To redeem this like physical thing, or you got the physical, you get a digital version of this for free. You already bought it. Go collect it. And people are going to go and scan it, go pick it up, and then Disney will be, if you got both, and you get this.
And we are
That's
early.
all it'll take, dude.
Think about it. So look, movie theaters, they've been saying it already that they need to adapt or die because streaming is available, and even some movies don't even go to theater, they go straight to streaming, or they're in theaters and they're streaming. You can choose how you want to watch it, right? But they started doing all right, you're going to get an NFT, you're going to get something. They're saying, let's do something to try to attract an audience and figure it out from here. They're already adapting to that, right? A couple years ago, so for the Super Bowl, I had the tickets, sold them. I got the NFT of the ticket for the Super Bowl. For the All-Star game this year, went to it. I got the email for the NFT of my ticket that says I was at the All-Star game at Dodger Stadium and everything, right? This year, for the Rams and Chargers, which I have tickets for, hit me up, LA Ticket Plug. They are doing NFTs for every game. On StubHub, it even says, hey, if you buy tickets to this game, you're going to get an email for your digital ticket stub NFT that you can get. Now they have already adopted it full force. Like, it's going to be every NFL game because there are no ticket stubs anymore. And people used to like to collect it just for, for memories, or if it's a big game or this happened and they want to be like, I was there.
Ticket
How do you
stubs
prove
are
that you were there?
resale, especially if you can get someone to sign it.
No, what I'm saying is
like
it went from being the Super Bowl and the All-Star game, these big games that it's like, of course people want to remember they were there, to every game of the season, you're going to be able to get an NFT that you were there. Because whether it was, it's the first NFL game I ever went with my brother, I can't even commemorate that, or keep record of it. It's like, no, yeah, you can. They've now adopted that. And that's been 4 or 5 years without ticket stubs already. But they weren't doing that. They're saying, you have to do it on the app. You have to have the digital screenshots won't work, whatever the case.
So it's interesting. It seems like major sports and certain things are like trying to keep up, but then to then break it down to them, they're going to offer some type of utility or something within those ticket stubs. That's still years down the line. And it's going to take companies like Veve and other people who've been around the block that then go and teach them. It's going to take a model that works. 100%. And no one has that model that works yet. And everyone's trying to just go to the lowest thing, like, OpenSea. This is where the games are. Utility every 90 days. That's what people want. Like maybe like that could be what works, but no one has it figured out yet. What it seems like, it's a small combination of all that, and Veve still has to tread lightly because of the IPs they have, because the IPs seem to have given them free range, so they don't want to scratch the car, right? And
that's why people can't shit on them to a certain extent. They can say, those aren't real NFTs. And they can shit on Veve.
The backcow community is very happy. You don't see people complaining. There's no FUD in the backcow community. Like that, I'd say that's an NFT project that's like going good based off what they're giving you and what they're every day I have to answer an email and choose where the fucking comic is going. I have to choose Batman's suit, Batman's sidekick, Batman's weapon. What attack is Batman gonna do? What is he gonna say? The noise the Batmobile makes when it drives away. I had to choose all that shit.
That might be that utility in that certain time. Someone might want that. Someone might
that
not.
Doesn't count as the utility though.
No, that is.
I know, but that's not the 90-day. Yeah, they guarantee you 90-day.
That's participation.
This one was like the comic is its own utility in it, which I'll get a physical copy of. I'll be in the credits. I'll get the digital copy of. So like they're doing that one, and they're not keeping people waiting. It's just like it's keeping on and it's keeping on. It's like a good example of shit because people aren't mad. People are pretty pumped up, and whenever one gets sold, people are posting that shit up. This one sold for $1,500. This one sold. They're just throwing them out there, and they're keeping it's always positive shit. There's no negative. There's no. So
what's the floor
negative
price on a
shit
back cow right now?
Whatever someone would put it. I don't really go on the aftermarket. I just see the Twitter ones.
I'll give you $50. I'll give you $50 right now.
One dude sold. I did see one dude sold under. He sold at $250, and people fucking were pissed and shit. You broke the code. You can't go under.
You can't wear your back cow anymore.
What the fuck?
You're not a fat cow. Poser. We don't want you here. Get the fuck out of here. No, but either way, when it comes,
as a, they're their own.
Remember this
separate. Their own. I'm just saying, their project.
I heard about Facebook.
How they're going. That's pretty cool.
I'm on MySpace. I'm in high school, senior year. I hear about Facebook, and I try to make an account. They say, I just graduated from high school, and they're like, "What college do you go to? Register your student ID and shit so you can make a Facebook." And I was like, "I'm not in fucking. I don't go to I wasn't going to school. I was working. I was like, man, fuck this app. I can't even use it. It's for college kids. I need to have this access. And then it just evolved to now where my fiance's mom, who's fucking 60 something, tells her happy birthday on Facebook. Oh, mija, happy feliz cumpleaños on Facebook. She's like, she didn't fucking text me. She fucking posted a picture of me with like a little gift, like not even a good one, like an old one with like the bear with fucking balloons.
Right.
But you get me? Like, we're now, they're using it, it's still around. So it's like, yeah, we are in the early stage of that, but it will ever evolve. And just because, so the back cow, right? Whatever progress they make and whatever works for them, there's a copycat league, dude. Oh, I can do that too. I can adapt to that. I can add this to mine if that's the feature you want. Fucking Instagram and the way they did when it was just a picture before, and now you're putting your stories and all that shit. Now we're Snapchat. You're like, they're all gonna add that different aspects of the app.
I think no matter what, back cow will be good. Like they're gonna do the right things.
No, I'm not saying it won't. Yeah, I'm saying that like the success of back cow is going to also contribute to the success of Veve, just like the success of Veve will contribute to what back cow can do.
Is like a spin-off, like a cool little extra thing. Veve seems, more on that pace to be like.
No, and then
one thing that caught my ear with the Alfred Kahn interview, right? When I forgot who asked the question, when we talked about Veve being the Amazon for digital collectibles, like, do you still feel that way? And he alluded to, hey, that's how we felt at the time, and we still do in a lot of ways, but we just see the social aspect, the share, the AR, that's why to me. And here's a ding, 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 ding. Remember this part. They're doing uncommons with animated with Mickey on this one, an uncommon that's animated. They're doing more animation now, giving it away a little easier, right? We see with the Star Wars, everything was animated with the lightsabers, right? And I think we'll start seeing animation a little more common because that AR capability of seeing the animation has kind of been held out to the secret rares so much that like most people don't have the Black Panther secret rare
or ultra
with animation or ultra rare, to show out. But the best one was secret rare.
But that was back when they were doing 5 variations.
But yeah. So they were figuring that out. Like, look, let us make some money. There's a high demand. Now they're like, look, let's just do less variations. Let's do more animation so people get more bang for the buck. Plus that AR, that share with Dr.
When you're talking about history,
and everything
look
else.
What they did. Mr. Fantastic, they finally cut it down
to 3. You guys agree, right?
I do agree 100%.
Like the power of that animation to go viral or to do to be shared is an important factor.
No,
probably even more than
that's the funny
do you
shit.
want Goku or do you want a Goku that can turn fucking Super Saiyan
do a fucking
or go all the way up to
bomb.
Fucking to Super Saiyan God level? Like
I want Spirit Bomb
through Super Saiyan 2, then Super Saiyan 3. Do you want like those shits?
Plus, this is Disney and Veve.
So
then even
of course
then,
animation.
Even
is
then,
there,
animation, right? Then you talk about interoperability. Veve's like, bitch, why do I want to be interoperable with you guys?
No,
I'm Disney.
That's
you guys want to be interoperable with me. You don't get to see a Mickey Mouse at Knott's Berry Farm.
That's why.
But shit, we can negotiate that I might get Bugs Bunny on my shit. Why not?
No,
we're not going to go and give you this.
A lot of their partners, their IP partners, the ones that they have, they got teams developing their own metaverses. It's not like they're just out the game and they're like, Veve, do it. Those Disney is paying the team to create a metaverse. They're exploring it already. It's already, all the major companies have their team on it already. So Veve, like, for them to do it in that aspect, to be like, all right, well, we're gonna do this, like, it's kind of like we're gonna go at it with our fucking partners in a way.
Well, I don't know.
When they don't have necessarily to right now, you don't have to.
I don't see it that way. Look,
but not
I see it this
spectrum.
way.
That's still
Veve
the partner.
is still the premium digital. And that's going to be the main focus. Like, you got to make your own metaverse. So when people are in Disneyland, Veve's not going to do that for them in Disneyland for everything they do. Disney still has to hire their own team, get stuff cracking for their own games, for their own stuff, and do their own coin. All that's great. But when it comes to, hey, Disney, do you recognize that a napkin you released in 1964 or whatever could be worth now fucking $10,000 to someone because it's that first napkin and this and that. Disney recognized that and goes, we know this. We save all our shit. Try to take one of our things. Try to take a old school Jungle Cruise boat. Like, sure, some fools who worked on it got away with one, came up on one back in the day, but they figured it out. This is like, yo, you don't take shit. You don't even take that uniform. like we used to be cool, but then we figured out all our IP, all of this stuff people want it. So now we're living in the digital age of that, where they go for the next 100 years. Anything we release now in this digital form, sure, not all of it's going to be valuable, but we understand certain stuff 20, 30, 50 years, people are going to want it the same way when we released in 1964 that one replica shoe of Cinderella, and we never did it again. And why? Because Walt Disney wanted it, or the promo did this, and Sears gave them $10 million to do it. Like some crazy stuff. Like, whoa, we never did this again. We never went through this detail. Everyone was all hype and this and that, so we did it. And now it's a number one collector's item. While Veve's more for that. Like, yo, sure, I think you might get your one and promo stuff, free stuff, and random things in there that Veve will do for promo for a younger audience and for Veve and for Disney. But dude, I imagine Disney dropping a million things on their own metaverse and it not being as bad. It's like you knowing, no, you just got the free toy. That's not the same as the replica freaking Pinocchio that's hanging in the wall on Main Street. That thing right there is worth like 16 grand. Why? That's one of the first ones they've ever done. Now, I'm not saying every digital collectible on Veve's going to be there, but it'll be on that par.
But it'll be attached to a company and a brand that is well known and that matters. Sometimes they link, and sometimes it just happens that way, dude. Like whether it's Coca-Cola or something else, that where it's like, yeah, I'll put my stock in this, and it's like, oh shit, you became your own entity, and now it's dope that we touched base, or we were on the same page on this, or we had this project that we worked on. And it does become something more. Like, it really just does. Like, there's no way around it.
Now, I got a question. Real. Do you guys think the Steamboat Willie pumps and the fucking band leader Mickey pumps with the Fantasia?
Slightly.
The Fantasia one coming out.
I think it does slightly, but
you don't think they go through one on their own?
I think they rise a little, but there's so many people willing to undercut or just post up and sell. Especially on a band leader, people really undervalue it.
Just slept on though. Like that's one that in 5 years we'll trip out. Like, damn, this shit. The Common went back to retail.
That's
it
our
went
chance
to under retail.
At season
it
1.
Went like, holy shit.
Season 1, Batman Black and White. So like when fools were like, I won't even get this. Like everyone wants the title, everyone wants this one. But I don't even know. Is anyone gonna want this Joe Mad? Is anyone gonna want this other one? Like, nah, no. Yeah, you should have bought 10.
Well, we talked about it with the...
Even band leader being at the bottom of the totem pole, it will probably be worth fucking $1,000 just for the Common.
We talked about that briefly.
It'll get to that Steamboat level again.
But we talked about that briefly with the Infinity Stones. Like, at a certain point, it's like, oh, there's a lot of Mickey and there's all this. Right? It's like, yeah, but do you got this Mickey? You're like, well, no, but I should get it. I really want it now. So even the people who have the ones that are highly coveted, those become the next thing that's highly coveted, because to complete the set of I have every Mickey from the stages of started with a mouse and going to band leader and going to Fantasia and going to all these other things, like you need to come back and get this one. And the people who are stacking it up or having it, there's still not a lot on the market where it's like 80% of them are on the market and no one wants to buy them. It's like, no, a lot of people are just holding on to them. And when it hits that point, we'll see how it affects it, because Disney is just the history of all of it, dude. Like, it's not going to go away. Like, it really isn't. We already know that shit. Like,
all right, so next question, though. Why do you think that they're highlighting the fact of sound effects? Because it's not the first. There's all the anime, like well, not all. I don't have a Steamboat. I've never seen the Steamboat Willie, no. But talking about, like, let's just go band leader Mickey. He's animated and there's sound effects. Like, I mean, it's not does it not count because it's music?
That's what I'm saying. We don't know what it's gonna be. Like, we haven't seen the animation yet.
Like, there's music for band leader Mickey. You haven't heard it?
No, that's what I'm saying. Does that not count as sound effects?
No, but they didn't put
it the way they put. Yeah, I have it full.
You have band leader set, right?
No, I need the Ultra.
I have 2 full sets of them.
I gotta pick it up again.
But I'm just saying, like, does that not count because it's just music? So it's not sound effects. So it's gonna be like the water splashing. So that's gonna be making the sound, and that's why they consider it sound effects, because a lot of them are animated with I don't know how is Steamboat Willie ultra rare.
It does. It whistles and it plays the music.
Yeah, he's having his feet
dancing. That's the one that plays at the start of every Disney movie that you've ever seen right now. Like, they play and they freaking, dude, it's crazy. So if you have that one, like, even when I watch a movie with Baby Mickey, and that comes on,
Zoe recognizes it too,
and I'm like, look, like, if you have that, you have a part of that history. Like, I don't know, it's pretty crazy. And obviously we know that we're in the community. We understand that. A lot of people don't. Plus, on the top of that, the people who do, the people who take those risks, they're out of the market right now. We're not competing with them. There's big money that's there that don't care. But big money, other big money is like, I'm not touching that, because there's other stuff more appealing to touch and to get into and to invest in. On top of that, everything's just so uncertain.
And I could grab it at 80% and then sell it at 100% and get my 20%. And it's all about it. It doesn't have to be that huge gain for people who are making
we're
investments.
Gonna get to
like
the point.
Give me like, there are certain people who will spend 500 and be happy as fuck to sell it at 580 and get that 80 gems, because it's in bulk of, I bought 20 of them and now I'm getting the 80 gems times 20. And that's just a quick
stack what you're willing to sell later. There's going to probably be a short list of stuff you'll never sell.
I have 20 Amazing Spider-Man #1s
and then the rest of it,
my stack has reached
we should
20,
get to a point where it's so
update.
ridiculous that we're like,
that's a sick
The update. I got 20 of them now. Boom. Started off with 2 of them at $300. One
so
of them
if you sell them at 300, what's that?
I paid 300 for like I paid
right
300 for one that was like number 42,000, and then I paid 300 for one that was sub 4%, and then ever since then I've had like 120, 100, 90, 80, 75, and now my last like 10 have been at like 40 to 30 gems, or 28 gems is the lowest. Mickey's like the lowest it's ever been is 28.75, and I got one for 28.50 like
I got one for
an hour after he said that.
I got an Amazing
Oh yeah, so I have 20 of them now. That's my stack. I'm sticking with that for now. Like, I'm just gonna hold on to that.
I got one. I got it for $100.
I have 20 Werewolf by Night.
I haven't got another one.
And the majority of them, I only had like 3 where I bought after, like, had the high price, like 30 gems and shit. The rest of them are at 650 or 7
well,
gems.
my average is back. My average is down now to like
those
65 gems, 70 gems.
But I mean, I don't know if
20.
that's a real good stack or it's just comics and crypto fucking pumping that shit.
We'll
put
see
it
if he
top
gets
5
a second.
and shit, you know?
Nah, I mean, that's a hot one. I mean, I got my nice stack is still the America Chavez one.
No, and
I have
Doctor
the
Strange,
Common, I have like 14 of them.
That's a good stack right now.
110, yeah, it's $17.
It's fucking down. Like, that's
you buy 10 of them, that's $170. That's as much as some of the golden moments. But you would imagine if that thing catches up to where it should be, it should be at $50-$60 right now. You go and turn that, that 160 into like $500 real quick. So there are a lot of opportunities when the market does turn. It's gonna be crazy. We will be having different conversations then, but obviously no one knows when. But the confidence in the project hasn't wavered.
You know which one's a good set you could get to for less than 100 right now is that Stitch one. That includes the Secret Rare. Secret Rare went under 60.
You want to go through
that's a good set you could get that's a Disney set you get for under 100 gems.
Let's go cheapest sets
if
right
you
now.
Wanted to just fucking go get them.
Cheapest set on the app right now.
Electra.
Do you know?
Electra.
The Designer's Con collection.
Oh,
Scott Tolleson Decon Mascot UK edition. It is going for $15.
Gems.
15 gems.
The full set.
The full set, because it's a one set collectible.
Okay.
You'll get 2 points. $15. Cheapest one on the app now takes the cake. Second cheapest is still the No Time to Die poster. So if you want some cheap like MCP points, I own that poster. I bought one. It's at $17. I bought mine like at $18. So there it is. You got the Mighty Marvels Chimichanga at $17.99 for the third cheapest. And then you got the Tesseract at $21 at the fourth cheapest. Take Me Out to the Ball Game at $22.
Dang, that's just cheap.
And then we got the Rogers Musical and then the Sunflower Grin, which sits at $30, but you'll get the 5 MCP points. So that's probably the best bang for your buck right now when you're talking pure MCP points. And MCP will come in and play a big factor on these types of drops. Imagine this type of golden moment drop, but you're going off MCP points as far as getting that wait list, It would increase a lot of the OG foos chances, and there's not a lot of OG foos out there. There's just really not at this point. For this golden moments, we're going to have people come out the woodwork again. We're going to have random people who haven't been on. We're going to have people who heard about it.
You're going to have all the dumb-ass influencers bringing everyone back that's off the app.
But on the flip side, just off of how I feel, this sentiment, AF15, everyone went crazy. Sure, we're seeing a pump of golden moments, but I mean everyone went on a sell-off. I don't see a crazy sell-off Sure, things are dipping a little. AF15 is under 500 right now. Healthily under 500, like 450, you know? So that's a nice little dip. But I'm not seeing a huge sell-off like AF15. Maybe we see it tomorrow, but maybe I'm just floating it. People are sleeping on this shit.
Maybe not
Are
today.
people sleeping? Are we all going to hit?
Maybe not tomorrow.
Do you think we'll go 3 for 3?
I don't think so.
And maybe
you think
not
the bros will
month.
get 3 for 3? Come on,
one
fool.
thing
We got it,
is
baby.
true.
I don't think I am.
I'm going to be champion.
I'm gonna try, but fuck, I don't think so. I don't feel good about this.
Hey, the
one.
Brandon Moreno dude. Maybe
I'm
not
gonna be
today,
right there, like,
and maybe not tomorrow. Maybe not the next month. But one thing is true. I'm going to be champion. Like, dude, you just have to believe. You have to be present. You have to be there. It's all good. You can say you don't believe that you're gonna get one. All right, and I get it. People are all hyped up because now the utilities coming in. You're gonna get the extra spot already. They're already telling you're going to. You know, they didn't say it after. They let you know before the drop. Like, hey, not only will you get this one, the finale, which is an animated golden moment, the first of its kind, and the last of its kind, because it's the finale. But also you're gonna get the D, which is a huge one because it's freaking Walt Disney's signature, is actual his handwriting, and it's the freaking one that's on all the freaking theme
And
parks
it's a true
everything.
last golden moment.
Exactly.
So
And
it
it's the
starts with
finale.
Homer,
Yes.
and it ends with that D. So that's why it's cool. Like, I have hope. I own the first set, golden moment set ever. Please, VV Gods, let me own the last set ever. I didn't hit Valentine. I didn't hit the duos. I didn't hit AF15. I didn't hit Vader Ultra Rare.
You should have heard all the shit he
I
talked after
started
he
a
didn't hit.
podcast. I spent thousands of dollars on this app. VV, you fucking owe me, David. You hear me? You fucking owe me, motherfucker. I want to hit this shit. If I don't fucking hit this shit, I'm breaking my fucking phone right after I don't hit it.
Oh man.
he's not threatening you, David. You.
I said I'll
Don't
break
worry.
my phone, not you.
It's
You.
a promise. It's a promise.
No, but I do want to just talk this shit real quick. Look, people want to talk shit about Veve and this and that. They don't believe in this project or it's dead and this and that. Slowly but surely, the last 2 quarters, Veve has been fucking killing it. From some of the biggest drops ever on the platform to MTL to KYC to one of one art to delivering on the AF15 promise that was one of the first fucking things they like people speculated from the start it would break the app, this and that. We talked about it. It did everything we fucking thought. It melted faces. It made you question everything. It you know, all that. It made people not rich, but definitely a nice come up from $20 to 15 grand for some people. Veve did that in a bear market right now.
They brought
Ethereum
it back,
ain't going. This fool ain't doing that. Like no other crypto's doing this. This shit is
on
crazy.
AF15, none of us hit, and then we spent the next X amount of hours trying to be a part of the group and getting one if we could, right? That was like the shit that brought us back into it, where it was like we just know. Without the proof of it happening that way, we didn't know for sure before the drop happened. Where we came in first, like when we first came in, we were like, oh yeah, this is a good price. I'll pay $95 for this freaking uncommon, or for this sub 5% fucking common that's worth 15 gems now, because that's where it was all at. This brought it back to like that moment of like, look, we are still this. It's just a matter of who cares about what's out right now,
So
and where can it be.
my point, Veve is killing it. This is another fucking great moment. 1 year of golden moments and they're done. Goodbye, finite supply. Sure, it seems like a lot, but goddamn, it won't feel that way once the masses get here. And so, props to Veve. I'm happy. Just even with this, the same way I'll probably be disappointed next week if I don't hit. Just the same way like AF15. But this isn't about us. This isn't about like any YouTuber, any influencer. Like fuck all that. This is about Veve delivering yet another one, another big moment. And Disney got their back.
What's your
and
best? What's
it's
your
dope,
best
bro.
hit that you've had on Veve on drop? What's your best hit? Right
I
now.
mean, I think back to the lenticulars, dude. Like
You hit 3 on
that
that
3
day.
day lenticular, and I hit the 2
Ben,
2
what's
2
your best
2.
hit on Veve drop day that you can say? What do you think?
I don't know.
Well, give me one.
I don't
Give
know.
me a dope one.
I'm gonna have to think.
Because you had Secret Rare Ben for a while too, where he was getting.
Well, he got a
freaking-
lot of comics. I would think for him, I would say the Avengers 4, the Ultra Rare was a nice one to turn $6 into that dope ass comic.
It's probably
I'd give it to
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury Secret Rare.
That Secret Rare that one's gonna be huge.
You hit the Werewolf by Night.
I can't let that one.
Yeah,
go
I mean, I hit Werewolf by Night Secret Rare. That's one of my best. It's still holding $300 right now, $250. Like, still a great hit.
My point being, when asking not to bring up my Vader Ultra Rare again, but that's my best one. Either way, when I first jumped on that, when you told me about it, you're like, download, trust me, go. I tried for like 4 different comics. Instantly, nope, sold out. Man, this shit's bullshit. And you're like, no, it's gonna, trust me, the Steamboat Willies. And I already knew. As soon as you said, I was like, all right, that for sure seems like one, right? And then I hit. But we've been here. We've stuck around. And we've all had a big hit at some point. Like, we're not just dried out to the bone. We were spoiled for a little bit when no one was really going for jobs. We're getting 6 comics at a time and shit. Like, that's how it felt. We even something, it hasn't even sold out yet. I'm gonna hit the buy now. Like, look at the buy now's calling me to now where it was like, man, I didn't even get one of the AF-15. It just sold out. Like, what the hell? Right. It's like, no, we've been here before. We were just spoiled for a little bit.
And that happens in markets. Like, imagine
we thought that we were just gonna hit everything.
Going to buy grapes and then you couldn't get any grapes. All of a sudden, they're all there. You're gonna buy them and buy them up. Then you realize, oh shit.
But there was 3 times the supply. Like, AF-15
no, that too
was like they've been lowering the. So
that's why they had brought a big supply, thinking that there was still more people. But there was a lot of bots, and then a lot of people exited. And Veve probably didn't even understand that through a crypto market, that this is how it goes. And we've talked about this, where it's going to happen to us. It seems crazy. And here goes another one of my prophecies that I know some of them have come true. I'll tell you this one for sure is probably 100% will happen. We'll get to a point where there's more new people than people like us. Oh. People who know, people who've been collecting, they're gonna outnumber us, and like drastically. So we're gonna show up to a decon party, we're gonna show up to a Comic-Con, show up to something. There's gonna be Veve fans, Veve people wearing shirts, doing podcasts, doing this stuff. No idea what they're talking about. No, like they're just like they outnumber us, and they're just like, yo, do you know this? Do you know that? You're like, bro, do I know? Like, yes. Da-da-da. How'd you get that? I hit it on drop. What? You hit that on drop? Yeah. I was going for that shit back then. Yeah. What? Da-da-da. Yeah, I bought 3 Boba Fett's. I paid $500 for. Yeah, but they're like $2,500 now. Yeah, at the time I felt like a fucking idiot, and like I was gonna sell, but look it, now they're like double, triple, right? And these fools gonna be all tripping out, but they'll outnumber us, and we'll think, no way. And all those stories will be all the brand new stories. I hit this one. I hit the Charizard. I hit this, and we'll be right there like, oh fuck, that Vader will be long forgotten. The same way someone who hit Walt, they could talk about it, but they still want to talk about Silver Surfer that they hit or they didn't. Like, Walt was nice, but there's always some new thing to get, something new and exciting, and that day will come, and we'll be sitting here, we'll be like, damn dog, we can't even give fools enough info. There's not enough to even fill them in, and it's happening so fast. And it'll probably repeat. Huge influx, crazy run up. Veve fam and Veve team will be like, hey man, people are asking for more editions. We want more editions.
That plays to the point that you said about season 1.
You're only doing 30,000 editions.
No, about season 1, 2, and 3.
We know in the bear market, no one wants to buy this shit, and everyone sells it off.
No, but remember,
so y'all want to buy it out in a bull market. Like,
people justify, even that fool who sold whatever, I forgot what he sold. Maybe it was the Vader, but he sold it so he can go get Electra, right? And he did the video and all that shit. And people said, either way, that, well, it'll be the ugliest Veve NFT, and I don't have that history. Like, I have the ugly bitch in my collection. Like, look, this is the one they talked about, right? Then people were bitching about, why are they doing 5 variations? So then Mr. Fantastic comes out. They do 3. Non-animated, but they do 3. And then
you can still go.
Oh, 2? Either way, they dropped it down, right?
Right.
Then they do Doc Ock, and now they do the 3. Red. No, but the red version.
The red, so which we should talk about.
The very next one,
which I told you fools.
So, and they throw an animated in the red version, and then the freaking uncommon or the common one, uncommon. But my point is that it took from Mr. Fantastic to Doc Ock. There wasn't 3 or 4 different ones that dropped in between that for them to change what they were doing.
Well, there was the Thor disaster.
But I'm saying from that point to this point, the changeover to
they had a couple ugly drops in the sense of like they went really down below retail, and on top of that, people complaining about the multiple variants and the old school look. Everyone wants Chris Hemsworth, but Veve's like, bro, we're trying to like one thing in the AMA with Alfred Kahn, and I sent this to my homie who collects physical comics. And I did the other homie's podcast the other day. His name's E-Zone. He's on Be Real TV. And he's like, oh, do you collect? And I go, just NFTs, fool. Like, I've just been buying comics, and I've been more on my collectible shit, like keeping an eye out for dope stuff. But I just been doing the NFTs. And he's like, oh, man, I can't trust that shit. Digital, I can't trust it. But this fool buys art, and he buys comics. He buys sneakers and hats, and he's all into it. And so I'm talking to him about it, and I kind of see his reaction to it, and I'm like, damn, we still mad early, right? Like super early that we haven't converted these types of foods, and yeah, fuck, I lost my point. What were you saying, Cisco?
You want to talk about the red Doc Ock.
Okay, so my point is, like, with Golden Moments ending,
what the fuck is your point?
The red Doc Ock is actually more valuable than we think.
The metallic.
I know you fucking. That was your first time in a while. You were like, trust me.
He wants
that
to
shit.
basically look.
Buy it up.
These
He's
are
like,
the new Golden Moments, but they're from Russia, so they're red.
He's like, I don't
and
have.
It's gonna be all metallic Russian
Ben,
toys.
it had been a while, but this was like today. He hit us with it.
Yep,
hey, I don't got it, but if I had it, man, you better buy it, cause if you don't buy it, I'm gonna buy it if I get the gist. But someone gonna buy it, I guarantee you. He finally hit us with
that video, with the video of David Yu. That's the question they asked him. They're like, oh, you're doing the Marvel Reds and less editions. Like, how does that come about? Like, what? And he's like, well, we don't know when a company's going to want to not do anything anymore or do a new variation or how long this will last. And he's like, for instance, we have another one that's going to be discontinued soon, or we're going to be doing a finale. So I can't say which one, blah, 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 blah. Then that opened to speculation. But the leading question, which to me, in his head subconsciously, they asked him about that, and he thought Golden Moments. But why is he making that connection? Because he knows there's going to be a finite supply of these reds, and Marvel and Marvel's requesting to do this because obviously they know, like, hey, we're going in through a bear market, NFTs, like shit ain't selling out. Like, what could we do? And they're then relaying the message, hey, people don't like 5 variants. We thought they would, they don't. Because the community is real small, they're real bitchy right now. So maybe less variants, and then hook them up with more animation or some type of difference from this to that. So then they go, how about this red metallic shit, and we'll just do a limited run. Let's do them for the next year, and then we'll spice it up with everything and everyone they have coming out.
Like we gotta understand too, as time goes on, the technology is gonna advance, and so the NFTs will evolve, and so those season 1s and season 2s become more like of a vintage hold. Like, these were the originals and shit, and like people love those. Like, you can get some basic shit. Why does a Game Boy from fucking 1985 and shit sell for way more than one that you bought last year? Because people still like that. Like, it doesn't even have to be an old person on a nostalgia trip. You can have a younger kid who's like, oh, I like this shit, I fuck with this one more. It's cooler to me. It's fun. It's still fun, even though you got the new updated shit. And I think that's eventually what's going to happen to these. You'll look back on these and be like, these are so simple and simplistic. And right now they're premium digital. And that shit's just going to evolve. This isn't what they're going to stay as. We're going to watch the whole evolution of it.
So check
of
this
all
clip.
of them going up.
So I sent this clip to the homie Grego. Again, he's a physical comic collector. I bought some comics off of him. He was at this thing called FleaCon. They had a bunch of other stuff, and I met up with the homie E-Zone, who had put on game about Veve, but he wasn't really interested. But I sent him this clip from the Alfred Con, and David Yu interview. So
Veve is the first appearance of them in digital. It's almost like buying a comic book in the 1930s, 50s, 60s. The first appearance of this superhero, this character. This is going down in the history. Regardless, is the first appearance of these characters existent. And the value of that is going to be huge. And that's why I'm so proud that I have actually, with Dan and the team, done something that is meaningful, impactful in the years to come. And these characters.
So you hear right there from David Yu, from the horse's mouth right there. It's equivalent to buying a comic in the 1950s, 60s, 40s, getting those first appearances in digital form. So, yeah, as much, I mean, fuck, man, the physicals will still always be valuable, and you could see why. They're printed. They're tangible. They're works of art, dude. But being able to be a part of this digital frontier is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Some people are gonna seize it, and some people are gonna wait. And for us, we've just, hey, right or wrong, better or worse, at least we can say, hey, we were the first. It didn't work out. We tried, and they had this great idea, blah, blah, blah. But we were the first. We wanted to be right there. And I guarantee whatever comes after this, we'll be right there with it, too. Mm-hmm. So we'll almost have to pay this cost, right? Or it's the opposite, or the other side of the coin. We're the first. Can't get these anymore. How'd you get them? Fuck, dude. We were right there. We bought them. We went through the bear market. We even did a podcast. We did all this stuff to keep ourselves entertained. And then 2025, it went completely bananas, and we knew, but then again, we're just like, holy shit. People went crazy for them.
Yep.
You couldn't get a golden moment. There just wasn't enough to go around. Celebrities started buying them. People started buying them. It was like, what the hell? Where did this happen?
Well, dude, the thing about collectibles, too, that people have to remember when it comes to this space is that at a certain point, they do, for some people, become status symbols. And they might not care about it at all, but it's something they can show someone else, and they'll be impressed by it. Like, yeah, look, yeah, I got this shit. In basketball, remember basketball, the owner has his collection of shit, and he has Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in a freaking box. And he's like, yeah, this is Kareem. Look, you want to play ball with him? And it's Kareem's just sitting there in the fucking thing, a part of his collection. As far as like, yeah, people love Kareem. I have enough money that I can have him here in this fucking box, part of my collection.
Yeah,
like, they can have zero care about the AF-15, whatever shit is like, but I have it. You love this shit? Yeah, it's mine. Look, check it out. And that's another element of like where it can go, because the access of it.
And you factor in people who are pure collectors unwilling to sell. You factor in people who lose their account or bought it. You factor in people who are going to just fucking if they given a chance to burn or take it somewhere else.
That's the thing I was asking you about burning.
Like, you factor all that in. 10, 20 years, the supply on these things could be way less, just based off of actual things that can happen within a blockchain. Sure, you're not going to get rained on your comic book. Someone's going to steal it or something like that. Like, or you left it in the back of your car or something and someone stole your car. You won't have those problems digitally. But you still have ways of this supply kind of getting lost in the sauce, you know, especially as more time passes. People get off the app. People sell their shit, or like I said, random collectors just eat up all of the fucking supply and then choose to burn. And they were even saying, I think they said, David Yu had said, like, there might be a mechanism where they'll put up like limited supplies, but you can't buy them. You can only offer burns. So they might be like, oh, we got Amazing Spider-Man first appearance of whoever, right? Like, whatever. They do a dope comic, and then they say the only way you can qualify to buy this comic or get it is by putting up 10 Amazing Spider-Man ones, because it has a huge supply. So we're only going to give it to people who are willing to burn 10. Then it's like, dude, that's at the time, you know, it could be worth $50, you know, ASMs. You're like, that's a $500 collectible. Yeah, but there's only fucking 50 of them, you know, or whatever it may be. Like,
yeah.
So David Yu and them had said they were thinking about something along those lines, or creating something like that to burn some of the crazy supply, you know. But who knows, man? Supplies may actually shoot up later on when we get the crazy influx of people, and we might have people in the community begging for more supply at one point, you know. But yeah, man, I feel pretty good about this episode. I'm glad we've been able to just get in and just talk about stuff and catch up.
One last thing we're
live
forgetting,
streams.
though. The next one of one from Marvel, not Disney, from Marvel, is the Wolverine poster, which is so and that's David where from the AMA, David Yu had Wolverine in the back. He's been hinting at it, but it ended up being a 1-of-1 auction now. So I will not be possessing that Wolverine.
You will not, yeah.
And I'm pissed. I will not get the first Wolverine anything, you know, on the blockchain. This 1-of-1.
I was pissed. I saw a tweet that said
even
if you offered one gem on the 1-of-1, that counts as a bid. I was like, wait, I thought I have to outbid the guy who's at the top. I should just put
those count. It's the outrageous ones that don't count.
Yeah, because they don't count.
So you put 100K and you ain't really got it.
Yeah, but in that case,
they don't count it. They don't honor it.
But in that case, everyone can just put one gem up.
Said that.
And then if they do an airdrop or something to thank them for doing it, it's like they would have came up. just for participating like that. Cause wasn't that for Dr. Prophet? He bought the first 2. He got the first 2.
Yeah, but that was a gift from the artist, not from Veve. He asked them to do it. He asked them to do it though. To airdrop for everyone who did a bid, the airdrop it.
Well,
he wanted to give that out, and it was the baby Andy Warhol.
Well, it's nice to have caught up. Obviously, we have a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on in Veve. Let's keep a good eye on it. Hopefully, we all have good results next week. Shouts out to Corey. Shouts out to Ronnie. Hope you guys are listening. Hit us up. Send us in some questions.
Hopefully we're live next week.
We might be switching to this podcast format for maybe a couple weeks while we just figure out the live situation, because I am trying to get us higher quality live. Plus, I do like these podcast ones where we can just kind of focus and be with each other, as opposed to like feeling like we're on live stream and like kind of like feeling like we're playing to an audience, because it does switch things up a bit. But as always, leave us some comments. Let us know your questions. We're keeping track. We're never too far from the app. And, hey, we're ready to strike. We're ready to strike.
Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck at the golden moments. I hope we all hit.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys soon. Peace, y'all.
There it is.